Okay, so another day fighting with AI to build this demo. Um, I was talking to a friend of mine today about what I was doing with these videos, and the thought occurred to me, I guess I should explain exactly why. This game's never been published. I've put it in front of a couple of publishers, but not many. My plan was to revisit it and fix it to make it a little bit more modern and try to get it published maybe when I had a bigger name. Because right now I've only have one game published. I do have two other games signed, but this one I've never really pushed for. I did make some physical copies and whatnot, and sold a few, but they were still demo quality. I've made them on what's that website? Game Crafters, and sold them. If it wasn't for our friend Lyndon, who actually flipped the bill for it, none of that would have gotten done. But anyway, so why make a demo of the game? Well, one reason is to put it in front of publishers who are busy. Like, one option you have, if you build a board game, you build a demo, you mail it to a publisher, and if you know the publisher, maybe they will play it when they're bored. I mean, they've got so many games and there's so many people trying to publish games. So wasting their time is something they don't want to do. So they don't want to, like, imagine they have like a pile of like demos are coming in, right? And if you're a new publisher, I mean a new designer, you're like, well, you're trying to figure out how to get into the industry. One way is you have a physical address of a publisher and you send them your game and try to get them to play it. Well, you're among many. They have a huge pile of games, a whole backlog of games they need to play. And some of them are by established established designers. So it's better to meet them at conventions and show them your game and pitch the game. Well, sometimes that's not always possible. And imagine if you are in the middle of nowhere, like I am. I'm in Lamesa, and let's say you don't have the funds to go to a convention. Well, you need a better way to have your game played than just uh, blindly mailing a prototype to your publisher or to a publisher. I mean, there's a lot more that goes to it. You need to find publishers who would align with your game. You need to maybe contact them and talk to them a little bit about your game. Try to get your foot in the door. This is another way to get the game into their hand and uh, make it easier. You're removing friction between them playing your game and, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a lot easier to play something on your computer on your own time than it is to look at that pile, find the players, sit there and play it, or even at a convention. Like, a publisher sometimes go to conventions and they allot an amount of time to see demos of other games, right? So if you can't get a slot to play the game, then you know you don't get to show it. Or the other thing is you are up against other games. So I mean, we all believe our game is amazing. That's why we've made our games. But if you look at like the list of games they were looking at in a day, and then they had just their regular convention schedule, it's better, I think, to do it at their convenience. So if there's a way to put it in their browser, I think, like if you were me and I didn't have the means to go to a convention, it would be better to go ahead and make a demo of the game that they can play alone. You don't have to TTS it. You don't have to make a video for them to watch. You just give them the game and have them play it. Give it to your friends. This is another way to also play test the hell out of it. You can make other AI opponents and test it. There's just all these things you can do. The idea here is not to go from PDF to Steam and sell a game. This is not what I'm about. This is not what I'm teaching you to do. What this also means is if we decide to use AI art for our demo, this is a demo. We want a publisher to take up the game, find their illustrators, their artists, their graphic designers, and do the game up. And their developers, we want to put it in their hands. Imagine this is your 3D printer kind of analogy. You are manufacturing a demo. You are not trying to make $1 million on Steam. I've got a dog underneath my feet. Like, that's not the goal here. We're not trying to sell on Steam. We're trying to get a demo built of our game. Now, I think it'd be great to put it in front of a publisher, but of course, I'm not a publisher. I'm a designer. And this is a great fun tool to take my designs from nothing to something. So anyway, I just wanted to make it clear that I'm not advocating for a person to be a one-man person and use an AI and take it from idea to Steam. I am saying take it from idea to playable demo, and that's our goal. We want playable demos. We're going to use AI to make our artwork or assets or whatever, or if you know how to use Illustrator, go ahead and use it. Do whatever you need to do. But this is only a one-of. You're not trying to sell the game working. You're trying to sell the idea of the game, and someone else will take over from there. Maybe you'll be on that team, but we're not trying to remove jobs like artists and whatnot. In fact, we want to create jobs for them. We want, hey, here's a game. It needs art. It needs a style, or it needs whatever you do as a publisher, it needs you. This is just an idea. Take it. So anyway, after that little speech or whatever, we're trying to remove friction between you and the publisher. We want them to play the game. This is another avenue for you. The other thing is, if let's say you don't have a PDF that has the complete game, well, you can build the game using AI and have it build your rulebook. Now, that's not the final rulebook. That's a rulebook that you give to your publisher if you're so inclined to do so. We want everyone to do the job that they're good at. At least I believe in my own head that I'm a good designer. I like my own games, so that's my job. I don't want to graphic design it, even though I come from a graphic design background. I don't want to have to crowdfund it. I don't want to do any of that. That's not my job. My job is to build games. Now, nobody might pick it up. It might not ever get anywhere. But obviously it has before. But I mean, like, that's really not my concern right now. My concern is building the game. I'll go there after I have a demo of the game. But like, I used to be a musician, or I still kind of sort of am. I mean, I still play music and stuff, but at one time I was an aspiring musician to get signed. And the big thing was, hey, let's write material. Let's make a demo. That's sort of what we're doing here. We're making demos. It allows the demos to be a little bit crude, but we want them to work. We don't want them to error out. We want it to be clear what we're trying to do, but we're not taking it to a final product. That's not what my forte is. I make games. That's what I do. And I want to do more making games and hopefully more publishing games. Anyway, so back to Conflict of Plants and where we're at. It doesn't understand. There's a turn. I knew I was getting into a problem because whenever I looked over here at our milestone for coding, milestone 5 is pretty much refining it.
Crystal Ball Milestone 5, UI/UX and polish, pending. Goal, finalize the interface and win conditions. Game over, trigger after round 6. Winning condition, points-red tokens-draw. Visual polish, animations for cube movement and token placement.
Okay, so way back here in Milestone 3, which let me let you hear what they should have done.
Goal, program the specific behaviors of the 6 core action icons. Do not start until M1 and M2 are verified. What to expect in the demo. Turn-based actions, a structured phase 4 where each player takes turns executing actions based on their selected disk. Visual prompts, the HUD will guide you, example select a tile to move from. Action logic implementation. Foot, click the foot action - a new tile appears on a valid adjacent spot - you.
Okay, so basically it said in phase 4 it needed the turn structure, but then it basically told us that we need to play test all those versions of the actions. The problem is whenever we're playing the game and it takes us to the turn structure in phase 4. And what I mean by phase 4 is in the game, it has a phase 4, which is playing actions. It doesn't construct a turn correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to an AI. We're going to go back and forth and make sure it understands the turn structure, understands our game well enough that it can tell another AI to make an action plan for an AI to code it. So that's 3 different AIs right there. We can probably go down to 2, but no less than 2. And then we need another AI after it gets coded to verify and make sure that those changes were made. So that's 4 AI in my head, but you could get away with 3. You could get away with 2, but it's iffy because if you have one, like, okay, a coder is non-negotiable. It must be separate. It must be a new coder every time. That's non-negotiable. A coder is one AI by himself. Another AI you could get to go back and forth and figure out if you get the turn structure right. You could use that same AI to write an action plan, and that action plan would be for the coder. And then you give that to the coder, and then the coder would spit out some code, and then you get that same AI, not the coder AI, the original AI who wrote the plan, to look over it and make sure nothing was changed. But I'm very strict. I do not like the person who gives the instructions to verify. I want that to be totally somebody separate. Just because of my thing about, you shouldn't have a judge administering the law. But I guess technically you could say the code is the law. I don't know. Anyway, that's just the way I prefer to do it. I've come into less problems that way. Problems would be context drift, meaning your game has added stuff and removed stuff in it that you didn't authorize to move it. And since you don't code, like, how do you know that it's gone? So you'll play it and then you'll realize that something's missing. Oh, when was the last time you played it at that in depth? How far back, how many iterations back was that removed? It's just better to catch it on the front end instead of having to go back and rebuild it and do it again. Although, like I said before, this is a one of manufacturing. You look at it like you're using a 3D printer. Like if you were asking a person to do something, if you asked a person, hey, go code this, I'm paying you by the hour. Well, yeah, then you're looking for quickness. That's the important thing. If you go and send something to a 3D printer, you don't give a crap how long it really takes. I mean, in the end, you set the printer, it does this thing, you leave the printer and you go and do your own thing. It's not a minutes turn into money or negative money. It is I'm manufacturing a one of thing. It's going to take time. We're manufacturing a demo. It's going to take time. So we don't care how long a coder takes. Now, AI has inherent in it not to waste time. Okay, so it's going to try to cut corners. It's going to try to do everything at once. It's going to try to do it all itself. It's going to be very proactive. All those things that it's like it doesn't understand itself and it doesn't understand what we need. We need something accurate, and we don't care how long it takes to do it because we're not doing it. While it's doing its job, we're doing other things. Anyway, so let's actually start doing stuff. Okay, so I have all these open from last time. The only thing I really need open is this our WordPad, our WebPad plus plus, which we save our code with. We're going to work on that later on today, I think, or tomorrow. We're going to fix that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's just get rid of all this crap. We're going to start fresh. We've got our rules. We've got our milestone, like the action, basically the big action plan on how to fix this game. It looks like we've got 2 games open. So let's just have one. This is milestone 4. All right, so we have Word++, we have our rules, we have action plan, and we have our game. Let's go and start Gemini. I like to have Gemini on the left. We're going to make sure it's on Pro. Everything's cool. Let's go ahead and give it our game. Milestone 4, because that's how far we are. We're going to upload our game rules, and we're going to upload our action plan. And then we're going to talk. Before we start talking, let's go ahead and get Canvas open. I have uploaded my file for a game that I'm working on. I have uploaded the PDF, and I've uploaded the action plan for converting that PDF into a game. We're on milestone 4, but I just realized there's an issue with the game, so I'm going back to milestone 3. Do not do anything, particularly do not code. I just want to talk to you about the turn structure and to get this game working correctly and fix milestone 3 so that I can move forward. Let me know when you're ready to move forward and talk about a turn structure. Okay, so the important thing we said there is do not code. If you see it start spitting out code, stop it. Stop it from making the code, because those are your tokens. That's the amount of time you have to use the AI before you run out. If it starts coding, it starts taking up your tokens, is I guess what they call it. Let's see if it'll listen.
I am ready to help you refine the turn structure. I have the Conflict of Plants Rules 2.0 link to .pdf open and the action plan available for reference. From reviewing the rules, I can see that Phase 3, Dispense, and Phase 4, Player Actions, have very specific and different flow structures. Phase 3, Dispense, appears to be sequential. Player 1 does all 3 steps, then Player 2 does all 3 steps, etc. Phase 4, Player Actions, appears to be interleaved, round robin. Everyone does Action 1 in order, then everyone does Action 2, etc. Is the issue related to this distinction, or is there another part of the turn structure, or a specific action logic like grass, combat, that we need to fix? I am listening, just let me know.
Okay, so I'm going to try to explain what the problem is. We're going to go back and forth and see if you're on the same page. Basically, a player gets dealt out a deck of cards. We're calling those tokens, but essentially it's a deck of cards. If you look at the rules, if you look during setup, you'll see that each player has a, like if you look at the specifically the example on, I think it's page 6, that has J points to a stack of tokens. Imagine if those were cards, and each one of those cards has a specific distribution. Those cards are you draw those randomly. Well, you imagine it's a deck of cards and it's shuffled, and for dispense, you draw 3 cards. You draw 3 cards, you turn over the first one, and that's where you do your first dispense. You turn over your second card, you do your second dispense. You turn over your third card, and you'll do your third dispense. And then when you get to phase 4, your first action, you turn over the next card, and and you do the action that's on the card. The only difference is we've turned those cards into tokens in this game. Now, if you look at the way the game is designed, we don't have any of those draw actions or the ability to use tokens that you've acquired. Now, the thing is, in this game, you can either use and draw from your deck anytime you need to use one of these tokens, or you can take a token from your action pool, which is on the right side of your player mat. So basically, those are tokens you have acquired during the game. So you're either randomly taking an action, or randomly dispensing into an area, or you're using tokens which you've acquired. In the first round, you're always drawing because you haven't acquired any tokens yet. Do you understand what I mean? Explain it to me whenever you get a chance. We'll go back and forth and see if you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically, well, I explained it there. Maybe you could pick up on it. But when we look at the game, let's go through our dispense. So we got a 2-player game here. It's big. We'll start the game. Blue player, when it says reveal in action, it's like, imagine it's a stack of cards. The cards is only, I think, like 8 cards deep. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It might be 9 or 10. I'll have to look at the rules. It randomly drew from that deck of water. We get to send 4 cubes to this water area. The water is right here, so we can go to either one of these areas. We're sending 4 cubes. Then we reveal another card, and this one is going to be foot, and then we get to choose one of these areas that's touching the foot token, and we'll place 2 tokens. So I'll go here, then we'll reveal again. Weed is one of these 2, and let's say we go here. Okay, so then it's the green player's turn, and then they're going to do the same thing. So they'll reveal their first card, grass. There's grass all over this whole thing. So they can place their first 4 anywhere, so they want to go here. Then they're going to reveal, seedling is here, so they're going to go ahead and place 2 here, and then a weed, they're going to place 1 here. So that's what it looks like. So now blue should be drawing from their deck, but instead they get to choose from any of the actions available. So that's wrong. It should be kind of random until they start acquiring these tokens, and then they could use them as they want to or draw. It's really up to them. Let's go back to AI and understand.
I understand completely. You are describing a deck-building, hand-management, hybrid system that drives the game's economy. Here is my breakdown of the logic to ensure we are on the same page before we touch milestone 3. The engine of the turn. Instead of clicking a button that generates a random icon, which is what we have now, we need to simulate a physical deck of cards for every player. 1. The action stack, the deck. What is it? A personal deck of 8 cards, tokens, for each player. Distribution. Every player starts with the exact same deck composition, based on the rules. 3x grass, 1x water, 1x wind, 1x fire. Wait, checking rules. Seedling. 1x weed, 1x foot. Behavior. At the start of every round, phase 9 cleanup. These 8 discs are shuffled face down. Usage. Whenever you need to perform an action, dispense 1, 2, 3 or action 1, 2, 3, you can choose to flip top card. This is a blind draw. 2. The action pool, the hand, red tokens. What is it? A visible collection of red tokens you have earned during the game, mostly from Phase 7 rewards. Behavior. These sit face up on your mat. You know exactly what they are. Usage. When you need to perform an action, instead of trusting the luck of the draw, the stack, you can spend one of these red tokens to guarantee that specific action. Cost. Once used, the red token goes back to the general supply. It does not go into your discard pile. The choice structure. Every time the game asks for an input, dispense step 1, dispense step 2, action 1, modify map, etc., the UI shouldn't just say, reveal disk. It must ask the player a question. How do you want to determine your icon? Option A. Draw from stack. Result. You pop the top item off your action stack array. You get what you get. Option B. Use red token, only available if you have red tokens. Result. You click a specific red token, e.g., water, from your pool. It is consumed, and you get that specific action. Why this fixes milestone 3. Currently, the game is too random. By implementing this dispense phase, you might draw a water icon for your first dispense, 4 cubes. If there are no water tiles near your starting position, you are in trouble. But if you had a saved grass red token, you could spend it to guarantee a good placement. Strategy. You can count cards. If you've already drawn your 1-foot action during dispense, you know you can't draw it again during the action phase unless you have a red token. Are we in sync? If this summary is correct, I am ready to implement the action stack logic, the red token logic, and the draw versus use UI choice into milestone 3. Let me know if I missed any nuance.
Okay, I think you understand it, which is great. The other part is, we're treating that like a deck, and then also, there's the reshuffle the decks, and all that stuff has to be implemented. If you look at the game that we've designed, if you look at the actual HTML file, you'll notice that's missing as well. So because we don't even have a deck per player, so at the end of the turn, they take their original deck and it's reshuffled and started all over. So hopefully you understand that. It sounds like you do. What we're going to do is we're going to make an action plan to implement this into the game. I do not want you to code. You can make snippets, whatever you can do to make it easier on the coder to implement our new logic. So please write me a action plan that's very in depth, so the coder does not have to think. All the coder has to do is take the code and insert this and be done with it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move that over there, is we're going to make a coder. We're going to upload our file. The other AI is generating a plan. Here is the original version of my game. It's not typing. Oops. Don't like how that was going. So we'll get a coder. That over there. We'll go ahead and open Canvas. We'll upload our game. I've uploaded an HTML file. This is a game that I'm working on. Your job is to be a coder. I will give you very specific instructions on how to code this file. Please do not add anything extra outside of the scope of the action plan that I'm about to give you. I don't know why it's having, I guess it's doing too much at once. There we go. Here is our action plan. We're going to ask it to write it in Canvas. Can you write this again, but do it in the Canvas area? I hate that it didn't do it. Okay, so I'm copying this, so I don't have to re-say all that. Please do not go outside of the scope of the action plan. Only do the instructions of the action plan. Do not add or remove anything that's not in the action plan. Here are your instructions. We're going to put parentheses. We're going to go here. We're going to get the action plan. It's in parts. That's kind of cool. I don't like that over here. I thought I saw code. JavaScript right there. Yeah, that's constants. Oh, it's got it right there. Okay, cool. It's got everything we need. Copy it. Put it here after the parentheses, in the close the parentheses, and let's put it on task. Once it starts going, we're going to start a new AI that'll verify. But we want to make sure it starts. There it is. Please give me instructions for a verifier. The verifier is going to look at the original code, and they're going to look at the modified code. They're going to look at your instructions and make sure that it has done exactly what you've asked. And it's also going to make sure that no new things have been done to the code. Basically, we're going to guard against context creep. So if you'll make that in Canvas, that way I can copy it and paste it and give it to the verifier. Okay, here we're going to open another instance. We're going to give it the original code. In a moment, I'm going to give you a modified version of this code. This is the original code. Please wait for further instructions. So it's waiting for further instructions. Here's our code that we're generating. Watching paint dry. Let's go check and see if this guy is. Here's the verification instructions. We're doing good. This may take a little bit. This will be a major hurdle. We're more than halfway done with the bones of our game once this happens. And it works, if it works. While we're waiting, I can't wait to get this thing where we have, more information or better information here. Such as, here's what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. You're dispensing cubes and whatnot. Now, it's crazy that I've seen people try to one-shot complex stuff. I mean, it can be done, but you're like going to get so many problems by one-shotting. There's the game, supposedly fixed. We'll take the code. We copied it. We're going to give it to the verifier. I want to change that to pro. Then we want to prompt. Here is Oh, that could be a problem. Earlier, I sent this to the fast version. We need to go to the pro version. So let's redo this. We're going to copy this prompt. We're going to go ahead and restart. We're going to go from fast to pro. We're going to upload our file. We're going to send it our original prompt to wait for further instructions. Then we're going to copy this code, take it over here, wait for it to tell us that it's good and it's waiting. Actually, we need to prompt it. Here is the modified version of this code. Please wait for further instructions. Let me know that you're ready for the next part. My seat is funky. Okay, now it's waiting for instructions. Now we get our verification. This is instructions for the verifier and what they need to do to see that everything in the code is correct. And let's see if we can get a pass, meaning let's see if the coder did it as instructed and didn't do more or less than they were supposed to. But that's, of course, assuming that the action plan was good in the first place. It could have possibly, I mean, we could have gone one more step and made another AI look at the action plan and made sure that the action plan looked like it was a good action plan. We've got a pass. X, X looks like it's all done. Verdict passed. We'll go ahead and let you hear it.
2. Quality Assurance Code Verifier. From Project Architect. Subject: Implementation Audit for Deck Building and Resource Management, Logic. Date: October 26, 2023. Status: Pass. 1. Objective: Audit completed. The transition from random number generation, RNG, to deck building, resource management has been implemented. The milestone 5 inches code strictly adheres to the Master Action Plan, M3.
Okay, so it could be possible that the Master Action Plan is wrong, but we're going to assume that it's right. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're going to our web pad. All of that is just telling us every little thing that was done. We're pasting it. Of course, that's not great content for Twitch or whatever. We pasted it in the Word web pad thing we made. We're going to save it. And then we're going to let me get that document real quick from my download folder. Then we will go back to where I have this stuff at, which is Gemini Stream. And then we're going to rename this milestone for fixed. I know that's assuming it's going to be fixed. Let's go ahead and open it. All right, so here's our game. Oh, if it works, dude, it's going to be amazing. It's not going to work, but let's see. I can't wait to where we can just play this and it opens like huge. Bunch of stuff we need to fix. Okay, so let's start phase 1. Okay. Action stack, cool. Draw a random card. Boom, it's a foot. So we've got to dispense 4 tokens in the foot. Here's the foot token. Here's the 2 adjoining tiles. We'll go ahead and place 4 there. We'll draw another one. Weed, which is these 2. So let's put 2 here. Draw again. We have 1 and it's water. So we'll go ahead and join them in the desert. Green, it's their deck. They draw They draw foot. So they decide, yeah, let's see what happens. Maybe we'll draw something and we can go in there and combat them later. Draw grass so they can go anywhere. And they're going to go ahead and add 2 there, which is cool. Then they're going to go ceiling, which is any of these 2. And they decide there for some arbitrary reason. All right. Blue, action stack. Uh-oh. We're going to draw an action. Boom, wind. Okay, so this allows us to move, and we're the blue players. So let's look at the rules. I can't wait to tooltip all this shit. To the rules, let's go look at wind. What is our action for wind? I'm pretty happy, by the way. You can't tell. Wind action. This action allows a player to select. This action allows a player to select a player cube belonging to themselves and move it to an adjacent tile. They can do this up to 3 times. You can move the same cube. So, if there's conflict here, having 1 there is as good as having 4 because the other one's going to win. So, we're going to move these. We're going to move 1 there. We're going to move 1 here. We have 1 additional one we can move. We're going to go ahead and put this one in the forest and just leave 1. I mean, this forest versus that forest. Green players' turn. They're going to draw their action. They have wind. Wind allows them to move as well. Weed, you don't know the game, but weed is the only one that'll score. So they're going to move this one. 1, 2, 3. All right, it's blue player's turn. They're going to draw grass. Grass is a combat action. The way combat works is whenever you're adjacent to whenever you're in a hex, basically one of these biomes adjacent to, like with another player, what it's going to do is it's going to remove 1, if you're the one taking the action, from every opponent first. So what's cool is here is I can kill this one, and then it would remove 1 each until there's only 1 cube there, whether you lose or you win. So in this case, here's a fight. It's going to first draw 1, take 1 off. Boom, which it did. And it only left 1. Awesome. Green player draws. They go to grass. Green player's going to eliminate this one pretty easily. Okay, seedling. What does seedling do? Where's the seed? Seed. This action allows the player to place 1 of their player cubes on a legal tile. This player then selects any tile with a weed icon abutting it. Basically look for the weed token and then look for stuff adjacent to it. This player does not need to have a player cube present in the chosen tile. The selected tile is scored for a minority. The tile's point value is equal to as many grass icons that are abutting it. So what we're looking at is first, what was it? This action allows the player to place 1 of their action cubes into any legal tile. So we're blue player. We're going to place 1 here. Then we're going to look at these 2 tiles, which are adjacent to a weed. We got to place either one of these scores. This one would score 3 because there's 3 grass. This one would score 1, so they want to score that one. That makes no sense, I'm sure. Green player draws from the action stack. Weed. What does the weed do? Weed icon. This icon allows the player to select a player cube on the map belonging to any player. This cube is removed from the game. The player taking this action then selects one of their own player cubes and moves it to an adjacent tile on the map. Player taking this action may skip the action but cannot choose to complete partial, blah, blah, blah. We know that kind of stuff. What was it? Select a cube on the map belonging to any player. This cube is removed from the game. The player taking this action then selects one of their own cubes and moves it. So we are green. This one scores the most, so we're going to remove that. We're going to take one of ours and move it there. It worked. Action stack. Draw. We're going to modify the map. We're going to add grass to someplace. We're blue, so we want to add it here so we can score more. Modify map green. They're drawing their grass. They want to score more, so they'll add it there. Okay, so now we reward my majority. So here, we'll just go around the map. So here, majority is going to go to green. Green's going to get to choose one of these icons when we score it. So we'll score it. Okay, so green's rewarded one of these. Green wants to own a foot. Okay. Then we'll score this majority. And green wants grass. Okay, the problem is they're being removed from the game. So we're going to fix that here in a moment. We'll score this one. Blue player wins majority, so they'll pick something. So let's say they win. So it's working kind of, which is awesome. It is amazing, actually. Let's go back here. We'll upload the game. Okay, so we fixed the action problem, which was great. But in the modified map stage, when we're rewarding majorities, for some reason, when we select the token to give to the player who won majority, and this is only in a 2-player game. I haven't tested it in a 4-player game, but in a 2-player game, when we're rewarded, it's removed from the physical game and given to that player. If you'll look in the rules, they don't take it off of the game board. They look into the supply and see if there's any available. And if there's any available, they'll get one of their choice. So in other words, let's say I won majority in the polar region and there's 3 grass surrounding it. So my only choice is grass. So I pick grass as my reward for having majority. Then I have to look into the red, to the game supply and see how many red tokens of grass are available. Can I get one? If there's no grass available, obviously I can't get a grass. But if there is a grass available, then I will be able to take it and add it to my supply from the general supply into my personal supply. Please look at the rules, make sure I've got that right, and let's talk about it. Let's make sure you understand it and I understand it completely before we move forward. This shouldn't take too long, hopefully.
You are absolutely correct. I have reviewed Phase 7, Reward Majority in the Rules, page 17 of the PDF, and your interpretation is spot on. Here is the breakdown of the rules versus the current code issue, and how we need to fix it. 1. The rule, page 17. The player with majority on each tile is awarded a red token from the supply that matches an icon of one abutting the tile. They gain the red token from the supply if there are any of that icon present. Key distinction: the tokens on the board, white, black tokens, act as references or menus for what you can claim. They are never removed from the board during this phase. The source: you take the reward from the general supply, the pile of red tokens on the side of the table. 2. The current code issue. In the mil4 fixed HTML file, specifically inside handle corner click under phase 7, current behavior, it sets new corners, linked to corner.id, token equals null. Result: it physically deletes the token from the map. This is incorrect because that token needs to stay there for future rounds, for phase 2 swapping, phase 3 placement, etc. 3. The supply logic, missing piece. To implement this correctly, we need to track the general supply. Components list, page 3. There are 54 red tokens total, 9 of each type: foot, weed, grass, water, seedling, wind. Logic change. We need to initialize a supply object in the game state, e.g., grass, 9, water, 9. When a player wins majority on a tile, they look at the abutting icons, e.g., the tile touches a grass and a water. They choose one.
Okay, so they're going to go through all of that. There's a part that he didn't mention, that Gemini didn't mention, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it with them and try to get it fixed. Everything is just about correct, except there's something I think you don't understand. Later on in the game, because we have the modified maps section, I think we have a section where I need to look through the rules where we actually add tokens to the game. It's in, let me see. I believe it's in the modify map stage phase where we're actually going to add red tokens to the game board. So when you said tokens that were on the game board, you only mentioned white and black tokens. Sometimes there'll be red tokens, especially later on in the game. Do you understand that part? Let's continue going back and forth before we make any kind of action plans. While we do that, we know we're going to need a new coder. We know the file they're going to code. We know we need canvas open. We know we need a verifier. We're going to go ahead and upload the file that we need. We're going to go ahead and prompt the verifier. This is like priming it. Here is the original file. In a moment, I'll give you a modified version. Do not do anything. Just let me know you're ready for further instructions.
I understand completely. Thank you for catching that distinction. It is a critical part of the game's economy and board evolution. Here is my refined understanding based on your correction. 1. The ecosystem of tokens. You are correct. The board is not static. It evolves. Start of game. Only white, round, start, and black, pre-printed, tokens exist on the corners. Phase 5. Modify map. Players physically take a red token from the general supply and place it onto an empty corner on the board. Result: that red token is now a permanent part of the map geometry. It counts for abutting icons in future Phase 7 reward steps. It counts as a non-white token for Phase 2 manipulation, swapping. 2. The flow of red tokens, supply logic. To make this work, we cannot just instantiate tokens. We must track the general supply, 54 tokens, strictly. Phase.
Make me an action plan to implement these changes to the game. You have the modified version of the game, which is MIL4 fixed. This is the file that the coder will be modifying. Please make me an action plan to make these changes. Also make me an action plan for a verifier to look at the modified version and make sure that only what you've asked to be changed will be changed. They're ready. Coder's ready. Action plan is being made. Okay, we'll take the action plan. We'll give it to the coder and let them do their work and generate the code. I really like what we have. I mean, there's color changes we need to make and little graphic details and all that good stuff. But that's going to go during polish. We have the basics, and the basics are pretty fucking cool. I want to get to the point where I'm actually paying for the highest tier of Gemini because that's how much I use it. As you've seen yesterday, I use it so much that I ran out of tokens with my main account. I'm thinking about setting up a, like I look at this as a, like I'm a musician kind of a thing. So I look at it like through those eyes. So I'm not a musician now. Well, I mean, I do play drums and I do it with a friend, and but I wouldn't call myself a musician anymore because I used to be this guy that's basically all I did. That was my identity. And now I'm just a guy who plays drums in a death metal band with a friend. Um, Not even a death metal band. We're not a band. We're dudes who play death metal. It's a guitarist and a drummer, and that's it. But anyway, so coming from that uh, world, I'm like, well, I'm told that there is value in this. What I'm doing and showing my, I guess, using my knowledge to help get a game from idea or physical game. I mean, like a physical demo or um, a PDF or whatever, or make yourself a video of your game, and then take it to Notebook LM. Get Notebook LM to write out a what do you call it? A transcript. Take that transcript. Oh, and also have it describe what's going on in the video. Take all that information, take it into Gemini, and start constructing your game. Like I can show people how to do that and stuff. So it kind of like private lessons. I was thinking about maybe doing a private lessons kind of thing. Online private lessons and charge a fee because I would love to get to the point where I can use Gemini top tier. That would be like that's the goal. Even if I don't get any students or whatever, that's still my goal this year is to start using it at the top tier, so I don't have to worry about switching accounts and all that other BS. Then I would also have access to some of the other Google products. I can't justify $250 a month yet because I'm making demos that I have not shown anybody but my closest of friends, and I haven't shown them all my demos either. Maybe at the end of this demo, at the end of this, I'll do like a showcase and show some of my stuff that I've been playing with. Maybe not. We'll see. Where are we at here? That's the. Oh, I gave it to the wrong. Oh, I didn't give it to the coder. Uh oh. That could be a problem. It generated, I put it in the wrong deal, so I'll have to verify it somewhere else. So we'll take our original prompt. Luckily, I just copy and paste it. So we'll go here. We'll go here. We'll paste that. We'll make sure this is pro. It is. Get our code. Copy it. Wait for them to say they're ready. Yeah, they're ready. Here's a modified version of this code. Please wait for further instructions. Let me know that you're ready for the next part. There's the modified code that we just saw get made. Right hell. No. Right hell. They received the modified version now. We'll go here and see if there is, I don't see, oh, there it is. Verification instructions. Boom, copy this. Give them instructions on verifying it. And then we'll play a little bit. If it turns out there's no mistakes. Pass, 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 pass. All good there. Looks good. I'll play it while we copy it and do all the stuff.
Verification report. Conflict of plants. Supply system update. To Project Architect. From Quality Assurance, Code Verifier. Date, January 27, 2026. Subject, Implementation Audit for General Supply, Logic. 1. Objective, Audit completed. The code base has been analyzed against the menu versus kitchen model requirements. 2. Verification checklist. A. Data structure, X, pass, game state. Supply is correctly initialized in generate game data with 9 units for all 6 token types: grass, weed, water, wind, seedling, foot. B. Phase 5. Modify map, X, pass, code verifies. Using red token and in game state, supply, icon ID, less than equals 0 before allowing placement. X, pass. Supply is correctly decremented. New supply, icon ID, upon placement. X.
Okay, so that was just giving us a list. I was just wasting time while I got the file ready. Let's see if it works. All right, so 2-player. Let's go ahead and make the map bigger because it doesn't automatically do that yet. There's the supply. That's pretty cool. 9999. That's badass. Start game. Draw from the deck, blue player. Foot. So they get to place 4 in either one of these places. That one has 2 grass. That one has 2 grass. Weed, which is this spot. We get to place 2. We'll place 2 here. We get to place 1 near the wind, which is either one of these. Let's just spread out. Green's turn. They'll put 4 here. Foot, they have 2. They're not going to fight them for that. And wind, which is either one of these. Why not? Okay, action for blue. They'll draw off the deck. It's a seedling. I don't remember what seedling does. Seedling. This action allows the player to place one of his cubes on any legal tile. This player then selects any tile with a weed icon abutting it. The player does not need to have one of his cube present, blah, blah. This selects the tile. To select tile for the they score it for the minority, basically. So we'll go over here. We're going to place a seedling. The weed is right here. they're blue. Even if they place one right here, we'll place one there, and then we're going to score that one. Cool. Green draws. Seedling, they get the same option. So what happens in case of a tie on scoring, I wonder? Let's look at the rules. We're going to go to concepts or terminology. None of that's there. Let's see if there's a description of scoring. That would be during seed. Okay, so in the case of a tie for my rules, nobody scores it. So he's going to go here, go ahead and if he chose this one, you score for having the least amount there. He doesn't want to give blue points, so over here would be nobody gets points. So choose there, nobody gets points. Water. I think water is how we, no, wind is how we move. So water. Water icon. This icon allows a player to select a player cube belonging to another player and move it to an adjacent tile. This player does this twice in total. The player can choose the same one. The player taking this action then selects any tile on the map and rewards majority. That player examines the tile to see which player has the most cubes, and they'll get to pick a token that's basically touching it. I say abutting in the rules, but okay. So water. So the first thing with water was, what was the first part? Select a cube belonging to another player and move it to an adjacent tile. So we're going to go here. We're blue. We want to move them to there. And then we want to choose maybe, let's go here and see if it gives us a grass. It's not letting us choose it. So there's already a mistake in the game. Let's choose this one. Doesn't let us choose it. So let's choose one of these. We'll choose water. Oh, wait a second. Oh, we choose one. We got to choose an area to score majority. Oh, first, select second cube to move. So we'll move. I'm not doing the game right. I get to move 2. I forgot. So green. We want to move them to there. Okay, then select a tile for majority. We'll choose that one. We'll see if we can pick one of these and get a grass. Well, I knew it wasn't going to work. It was supposed to score majority, not minority. So it didn't work completely. Let's go back to the rules. I just tried the game, and when I was trying it, I was doing the water icon. And from my understanding, the water icon allows a player to score majority after moving the opponent's cubes. And they can choose any tile to score a majority. I chose a tile and it didn't give me anything. Let me make sure, because all the supplies still say 9, so it didn't allow me to get the red token. Also, take a look at the code and make sure that if I chose a white token, that it would give me grass or whatever it's showing. I think they all just, I don't, or grass or a weed, just depends on which white token I point at. And of course, if if it's face down, it'll give me grass. If it's face up, it'll give me whatever it says. It might give me a grass or it might give me a weed. It doesn't matter if it says ×2 grass or ×3 grass. That doesn't affect how many red tokens I get for scoring majority. It only gives me one. Will you take a look at the code and let's just talk about it? Man, we were so fucking close. It was doing so good. No, not so much. We need a new coder. That's the one that did the coding right there. So we need a new coder. Upload the file. Make sure Canvas is open. And wait to talk to our AI overlord. All right, now we have some stuff. He went ahead and look how proactive. Just went ahead and just started writing code. Didn't give me the option to listen to it, so I'm going to do Firefox extension to read aloud.
I have analyzed the code and the rules based on your observations. You are absolutely right on both counts, and I have found the specific lines of code that need to be fixed. 1. The water action issue. Diagnosis. In the current code, mil4fix.html, the logic for water _select _reward is literally just skipping the turn. JavaScript. / current code. Else if, subphase == water _select _reward. Set game state, previous equals next turn phase 4, previous. The fix, we need to copy the brain from phase 7, reward majority, and put it into the water action. It needs to calculate the winner of that specific tile and then auto award. If there is only one type of token touching the tile, and it's in supply, give it to the winner immediately. Let player pick. If there are multiple types, example grass and water, let the player click the one they want, just like phase 7. 2. The white token face down issue. Diagnosis. You correctly noted that face down white tokens should always be grass. However, in the current phase 7 logic, the code looks directly at the token's internal data.
Okay, so this should fix that. It's writing the code. Go to the verifier. Upload the file we want to verify. Give it instructions. Here is an original file. Please wait for a modified version. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, hopefully this code gets made pretty quickly. But as you can see, man, it's hurting cats. It is really hurting cats. It's just a smart, dumb person, like I said. I don't know why I have to herd cats all the time, but it sucks. I would prefer that it just know what to do and we can one-shot this shit and get it done. But it doesn't really work like that, despite what people will try to have you believe. Once it's done, we'll put it in here and we'll put our awesome share copy, paste that here. We'll first prompt. Here's the modified version of the code. Please take a look at it And tell me when you're ready for further instructions. Parentheses, code, parentheses, done. Not parentheses, quotation marks. It already spit out a verification report, and that's not what we wanted. We didn't ask it for a verification report. Problem. It started verifying, right? And it looked at the changes, but we didn't give it the instructions. So, instead of having to deal with that, we'll just start a new prompt, upload. Here's the original file that I want you to look at. Please let me know when you're ready. In a moment, I'll give you a modified version. Please wait for further instructions. There's that. Let's go to the code. Let's copy the code. Let's wait for it to tell us it's ready. Make sure Canvas is open. When it's done, Canvas, and then here's a modified version of the code. Do not do anything with it. Just tell me that you're ready for further instructions. Quotes, paste quotes. Now we'll go over here. We'll get the verification instructions. Copy that content. I think they think there's a physical, look, there's a sign and date for the verifier. I guess the AI thinks it's a person. I should have told it was an AI. Then it didn't have to talk in people language as much. It could talk in code language. I'm dumb. Pass, pass. Awesome. Pass, pass, pass. Verdict pass. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's put it in our WordPad, the latest version. Let's go ahead and let you hear this while I put the file in the right place.
2. Project Architect. From Quality Assurance, Code Verifier. Subject, Implementation Audit for Water Rewards and White Token Logic. I have completed the audit of the Conflict of Plants, Milestone 5, Supply and Water Update, Code, MIL4 Fixed, HTML, against the provided verification protocol. 4. Verification checklist results. A. Water action logic, X, pass, reward trigger. In handle tile click, water_select_reward correctly calls get majority winner, tile, instead of skipping directly to next turn phase 4. X, pass, supply check. The code explicitly checks if supply type greater than O before awarding token.
Okay, we've got an okay. Let's go ahead and get our game going. 2-player. I can't wait to get this where it just, boom, it's big. Okay, grass there, everything is changed, so that's good. Okay, so the blue player draws its first card. It's sending 4 to the foot. Which one of these two? So we'll go 4 there. Water, so it's going to, this one has more grass, 3 grass versus 2 grass, so it's going to go there. Grass is how you score. If a weed is on a tile, which there's only one, which is this one, any tile it touches can score. So only this forest and this marsh can score. And the amount of points it scores is equal to the amount of grass that surrounds it. So grass, all these white tokens right here are grass right now. And this one's grass. So for its last single cube, or this is, yeah, for its last single cube, you can basically go anywhere. So we want to go to a place, this is the weed one, so we'll go here because it'll also, these two have scoring abilities. Green, they'll dispense to the foot Here's the foot. They have 4. They'll go here just in case they can fight them. Seed. They'll go to any one of these touching a seed, which is only these 2. They'll go here. Weed. So here with a single one, and blue decides to contest them there. So there's no majority or minority because it's absolute in this game. If you have majority, it's absolute. If you have minority, it's absolute. There are no ties. First action is the grass action, which is a combat action. Which one does blue want to kill? This one is worth 2. This one is worth 2. This one, blue loses 3 and green loses 4. And this one would be 1-1. So what we're going to do is go ahead and fight here. So blue has 1 left. Green's turn. Green gets a grass, so they're going to do the same thing, but fight here. Cool. Blue goes. Blue has wind. I think wind moves themselves. So blue is going to get here and move, and they have 1 more movement, and they're going to skip the last part. Okay, green goes. Wind. So they're going to put 1 here and skip the rest. Blue's action is weed. Weed. What was weed? I forgot what that action was. How am I going in alphabetical order? Weed. The weed icon allows a player to select a player cube on the map belonging to any player, including themselves. This player cube is removed from the game. The player taking this action selects one of their own player cubes and moves it to an adjacent legal tile. So they'll remove 1 and then move 1. They can remove their own. This is blue player, so they're going to remove this one. And the blue player is going to skip the rest. Now that's interesting because strictly by the rules, the player taking this action can skip this action, but cannot choose to complete part or skip part of the action. The action must be executed in its entirety. So the player taking this action then selects one of their own cubes and moves it to an adjacent legal tile. So I should have been forced to move a tile, so we'll fix that in a moment or later. We'll just remember we need to fix that. Next one is green. Water. The water icon, this icon allows a player to select a cube belonging to another player and move it to an adjacent tile. Player does this twice. In total, the same cube can be chosen. This is the majority one. So let's see. It's green, so green wants to end up with majority. So what this player is going to do is move blue there, move blue there, and move this blue. Oops. Pick a tile to score a majority. They'll score I screwed up somewhere. Oh, I accidentally pushed this. I didn't go through the complete steps. So blue is choosing one of these, and they choose, let's make sure we can get a grass. It was removed from there. Okay, cool. So actions, third action for green. Grass, they're going to fight somewhere. Green fights there. Okay, so blue can now modify the map. They can use the grass. Blue's going to score these areas, so blue decides to put a grass here. Awesome. That was done. Okay, so interesting. Green will now get to modify the map. They'll put a grass. They'll put it here. Reward majority. So boom, blue gets to pick something, so they're going to pick a grass. Blue gets to pick something, they'll pick a water. Here nothing, here nothing. Here in the forest, pick a foot and another foot. Blue. Should go to the next thing. I'm not sure what we're doing now. Oh, we had to score the last one. Change round. We flipped over that. There's 3 grass. Roll dice. Foot water. We'll move the foot in the water. Blue player has those 2 tokens or draw thing. It skipped the oh no, this is dispense. So they can use that during dispense or just draw. They'll draw for the dispense. So they're going to send 4 here. Should have been 4. 3, grass, 4. Blue's taking it. I don't know why blue didn't get to place their thing. So we're doing actions, water, removing, reward majority. Oh, man, I really need to fix all that where it's going to work, but we get to choose from one of these. Green gets something, they get foot. Okay, so it sort of works, sort of doesn't. We're going to stop right there. We got to remember that if you do half an action, it doesn't count. Stuff like that. Yeah, we're almost there. We're pretty close. I'm going to end that video. How do you turn this damn thing off?